This episode of Early News Dump is brought to you by Stamps.com.
Well, I guess we were flat out wrong when
Yeah.
we said that no one really cares about the Oscars or that this year's ceremony would follow a downward viewership trend because, I mean, they really pulled out all the stops with this presentation.
They really did.
It had it all. Amy Schumer dressed as Spider-Man, Justice League, Army of the Dead, and a low-budget live-action reboot of Cinderella receiving airtime and praise because of an online fan voting contest. Coda and Dune taking home some big wins. And
Also a runtime that somehow ended up going even longer than before, despite actively making efforts to remove half the categories from television and still...
I think the production crew at one point was just threw their hands in the air and said, we are not getting this back on the rails. And of course...
one other thing happened. What was it?
The slap heard around the world. How can he slap?
How can he slap?
How can he slap me? It is a moment that sadly will live in infamy. It was the pinnacle of Twitter discourse in the year of our Lord 2022. And it was just the shot in the arm that the Academy Awards needed to break the cycle of the low viewership purgatory that they've been suffering through for years now.
Yeah, I mean...
You really got to hand it to the Academy for setting up
tune in year after year to see a bunch of celebs patting each other on the back and thanking their families. And it really changes things up when you see one celeb just fucking slap the shit out of another celeb.
Yeah, really peaked. I mean, it literally peaked the viewership.
It did.
Yeah. This was must-see TV.
It really was. You had to be there.
Yeah, and we were talking...
And if you were going to be anywhere, Australia is the place you wanted to be.
Australia and Japan.
Yeah.
The uncensored version. But we were talking about how, and we have over the past couple of months and years, it's just like, America doesn't really come together to watch anything live anymore.
Yeah, it's like the Super Bowl and...
And last night, I was already watching it because I had nothing better to do. But I could imagine that people were on their phones, texting, you got to turn on the Oscars right now.
Yeah.
It was must-see TV.
Real water cooler moment. We don't get those all that often anymore.
Oh, everyone who was like, I don't want to go back into the office ever again. Last night they were like, I cannot fucking wait to get back to the office tomorrow.
And slap my boss.
I'm going to walk right up to him and slap him.
Yeah. Oh, you say I look tired? Well, I have seasonal affective disorder. So,
I look tired?
Being a little bit ableist.
I was up all night reading tweets. Sorry.
Yeah. I have a Twitter addiction. It is my disability.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, gotta say, after all the commotion last night, it is just so refreshing to wake up to headlines like, TV ratings, Oscars rebound from historic lows. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't even mention the obvious reason why the viewership spiked until multiple paragraphs down in its reporting.
Yeah.
Could there be any correlation here?
Not sure.
Nevertheless, the Oscars did see a 56% rise in viewership, pulling in 15.4 million viewers, up from just under 10 million last year.
Yeah.
When they did it in the train station, and there was like 50 people in the crowd. Yawn.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Looks like violence works, and using your hands to express emotions was a big theme of the night overall, as Coda also took home a slew of awards, including Best Picture.
Yeah.
It's the one with the sign language. Mm-hmm. It's a sign language joke.
And I called it on Friday. I said Coda would win because it's a wonderful movie.
I need to see it now.
It's really good, really emotional, and just phenomenal. And I'm glad that they got the Best Supporting Actor. He won, and it's very well deserved.
Yeah, it's just gonna be hard because I'm so used to like just having movies on and being on my phone the whole time. I'm gonna have to actually look at the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This makes things a lot harder.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will, of course, get to those awards. That's what you came for.
Tell us the winners.
But let's focus on what has become the biggest moment in live television since Trump got COVID. I think that was
the last big moment we had. Yeah. So here's the breakdown. Chris Rock takes the stage to announce the nominees and winner for Best Documentary, but does what any comedian is paid to do at award shows like this. He jokes about the industry and people in attendance, specifically everyone in the front row. Literally, watch any award show ever. They are basically celebrity roasts that also include awards because you are in a room full of people who are, just by the fact that they are there, at the top of their field.
They are very rich, very successful. They have many reasons to have very large egos.
Yes.
That, you would think your average little zinger would kind of just roll off them like Teflon.
Jokes should be no problem. They haven't been for a very long time. I mean, these people are in a room where they are being honored for being the best at what they do.
Some of these people are almost a shoo-in for the very coveted award that they are up for just minutes from now.
And it is entertaining to see them humbled by a well-crafted joke. It's why people watch. It's why
That's why they hired Ricky Gervais for like
and Chris Rock.
several years in a row.
Chris Rock was a host of the Oscars.
Like we need to get mean with the Oscars. People seem to like the mean.
Chris Rock, as I just said, has hosted the Oscars previously, and as many have pointed out by now, even back at the previous Oscars, he took a jab at Jada Pinkett Smith by joking about Jada protesting the award show by not attending, even though she wasn't invited to that year's ceremony in the first place, which is a funny joke.
Yeah, and it's based on fact. Like, it's you look at the crowd at the Oscars and you're like, all the stars are here, but that's actually not true. Like, actually getting a seat at the Oscars is apparently quite complicated. You if you're nominated or you're related to someone who's nominated, you get a seat, and then
or sometimes if you're nominated, you don't get to go. There was a big drama around West Side Story,
and they proportionally distribute a bunch of tickets to the studios based on how many awards the studios are up for, and then the rest is all like Academy members in a lottery, and then like certain executives.
Then you get some seat fillers, which is ironic because just after
the seat fillers are sitting there behind camera, they can't see shit.
Just after the audio, just after this incident, Amy Schumer walked up to Jesse Plemons and made fun of his wife right to his face by calling her a seat filler. And Jesse Plemons got up and punched Amy Schumer right in the face.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "It's good to see a man standing up for his wife."
Yeah. So we should also preface all of this with the obvious fact that Jada is already a pretty divisive person in general due to her own public admissions of infidelity. And while there's certainly nothing wrong with an open relationship, Will Smith's reactions at the time really made it seem as though he was an unwilling participant, but still wanted to support his wife. Needless to say, it has been a weird few years for the Smith family.
I mean, it's for a family that is willingly in the spotlight so much, the actual facts of that whole entanglement, as they called it, are still pretty vague about like who's really into it and who might not be.
Yeah.
But also, this is a family, like they have a fucking YouTube Red or Facebook Live show where it's like they like attention. These people like sharing elements of their lives that they are under no obligation to share with the world. So it is kind of weird that they would not like other people commenting on the lives that they just overshare about constantly.
Yeah,
that's a take that I have.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's no shortage of takes from us, the internet,
like multiverse of takes.
Anything that we even say on this episode, there's going to be people in the comments like, "You are wrong." The takes
absolutely.
Online last night. I don't go on Twitter. I stopped tweeting. I fucking. Like over a year ago now.
It was a good idea.
But yeah, I think in retrospect it was, because I got to see it from the sidelines last night.
Yeah.
But it seemed like no matter what anyone's opinion was, there was a completely militarized anti-version of that going against them.
The full spectrum. It's wild. It's like quantum takes. Just every possible universe of this take.
Yeah.
There's the Andrew Garfield version. There's the
the
Tobey
multiverse.
Maguire version.
This is the real multiverse.
Yeah. But back to last night. Chris Rock joked about Jada's bald head because she has alopecia, which is where she has a type of alopecia where mostly due to stress, your immune system starts attacking your own hair follicles, so your hair falls out. So he said, he was commenting on a bunch of people in the audience. He said, Jada, I was real excited to see you in the sequel to G.I. Jane, which if you're under 30 fucking years old, you don't even know what that is. But we're not entirely sure whether or not Chris was aware of the fact that she suffers from alopecia. And I'm sure it can't be pleasant to lose your beautiful head of hair. But we would assume, not that I would know anything about that.
As a bald man.
My disability, baldness. We would assume not, despite the insistence of everyone online that this was like information that everyone knew about. Like it's
like she said it publicly. Okay, not everyone listens.
Not everyone is like tuned into the goings on of the Smith family.
Yes.
And it's kind of weird that you would expect that to just be a thing that everyone knows about.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, she's spoken about it publicly, but that doesn't mean everyone follows every word that Jada Pinkett Smith says.
Yeah.
Still, he made the joke, which in a very offhanded way, like not something he dwelled on.
No.
Said, basically, you look like Demi Moore, one of the most attractive actresses in Hollywood history, in that movie where she shaved her head to play a powerful woman who kicks ass.
Yes.
And that was,
a bridge too far.
She was his queen, and God help you if you insult his queen. Will Smith even appeared to laugh at it at first, and there's a whole discourse around this because it's like, oh, well, actually, he was laughing at the joke from before, and it's like, okay, well,
he addressed them directly.
Jada clearly was already not laughing, so I don't know. Maybe Will Smith maybe his disability is that audio has a 7-second delay in his brain.
Yeah, he was running on the tape delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jada clearly not into the joke, and
that's fine.
That's fine.
It's great. You can turn your nose up at it. If that was the reaction of her, would have said all that needed to be said.
Yeah. No, I don't.
If nothing else
I don't think it's fair to expect her to be like, ha, it is funny that I lost all my hair.
Yeah.
My beautiful hair.
Yes.
So yeah, but the camera, and the footage exists somewhere.
We need to see
that
the
shot.
interaction.
I want to see. It's like there's 4 seconds between Will Smith laughing and what happened after that, and in between it cut away to Chris Rock. So we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know if words were exchanged, if glances were exchanged. We can only assume that Will Smith saw the look on his wife's face, and something snapped. What came next was first met with disbelief and laughter, because to anyone watching live,
specifically in America,
or even those people in the crowd, it seemed like a coordinated stunt. It's just not every day that you see something like this. Why would Will Smith, a grown man, up for the most prestigious award of his career, charge the stage at the Academy Awards like Vince fucking McMahon and slap a comedian across the face open-handed with a technique that had very much pizzazz for telling a joke?
Yes.
It was just very surreal.
Yes. He gave it the razzle-dazzle, too, that slap.
And again, a joke that
And Chris Rock took it like a champ.
He did.
Barely reacted.
That's the thing. He comes out of this looking like a consummate professional.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if nothing had happened after the joke, he would actually have looked bad. All the takes would have been how the joke was in poor taste.
Yeah.
All of the takes would have been poor taste joke. Look at her reaction. Don't you feel bad?
There's a lot of different ways this could have gone that I think would have been better for Will and Jada. He could have pulled a Kanye and grabbed the mic. Made Chris Rock look real dumb that way.
I did love the joke where it's just it's a picture of Kanye and it's like, oh, we're allowed to slap comedians now?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and again, this is a joke that was much softer than ones that have previously been made towards Jada and Will, even earlier in that night.
Yes.
So, I don't know, maybe it was just all of this boiling over. Maybe Will Smith has had enough after so many years of ridicule, and this finally made something in him snap, which either that happened or this is a guy who hits people
I don't know.
in his private life, which I don't know. I do find it kind of hard to believe that the first time you physically assault another adult man is on stage at the Oscars. I feel like we would have heard about it by now if Will Smith was a guy who slaps his assistants or something. I don't know. It's just fucking weird.
Literally, this time, well, I don't know when this video is going up, but literally 24 to 48 hours ago, Will Smith was a beloved actor. And sure, do I think it's a bit odd that he's involved in Scientology? Yeah, that's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
That is supposedly
he's very on the outskirts of it publicly.
They dabbled in the early 2010s.
We're getting off topic here. The point remains, I actually liked the movie King Richard. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was well acted. He did a great job. Back to the story.
And a lot of people in the Academy thought so as well. because Will Smith...
We'll get to it. So
yeah.
Here in the States, the live presentation quickly cut audio for about 10 to 20 seconds, while the actual video feed, it sort of paused and unpaused and glitched out. So I was watching it live. We didn't really know what was going on at that point, but everyone seemed to think it was a setup or something. Then when the feed returned to normal, an obviously flustered Chris Rock attempted to continue with the award presentation, though he did flub his lines a bit, and he definitely looked flustered during an emotional speech.
He had little birds floating around his head, squeaking.
It was hard to not look at him in the background of Questlove's acceptance speech. But yeah, Questlove won an award. He won the documentary film award.
Yeah, sorry, Questlove.
Summer of Soul.
Congrats,
he gave a very emotional speech, and in the background, Chris Rock's just kind of like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, no, it's
but almost
consummate professional. I feel like most people wouldn't have even been able to take the slap. Would have fucking lost their footing or something.
Yeah, and there's analysis of the video where it looks like he almost physically reacts, natural reaction to almost swing back, but holds back.
Yeah.
That's up for debate. But anyways, almost immediately after the confrontation, unedited videos from international broadcasts quickly made their way online, showing the full scope of what happened, and confirming that this was not staged, as Smith returned to his seat and very emotionally shouted, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth." Chris Rock responded with basically, okay, chill, dude.
Yeah.
This shit, kind of an overreaction.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Whew.
But then, moments later, as if through divine intervention in what can only be described as the wildest, tensest shit seen on a live awards show broadcast, Will Smith was not only nominated for Best Actor, he won the fucking category and went right back up on stage minutes later to deliver an acceptance speech right after slapping one of the presenters.
Yeah.
The headlines were like, Will Smith slaps host, receives Best Actor award.
It was, I've talked previously about when things are cringy, like that Elizabeth Holmes show.
Yeah.
I have to I'm either in the couch or I have to get up and walk away and watch the TV from as far back as I can get.
Blinders.
When the nominations started happening, I left the room and was peeking around the corners and I was like, there's no way he wins. But of course he will. He has to.
Oh, he was heavily favored to win. So, yeah.
Then he won. I was blown away.
And
not blown away that he won, but just, it's a surreal moment.
And much like how when at Thanksgiving, one of your uncles has a few too many beers and says some really ignorant shit, and you decide collectively, unconsciously, silently to just keep things nice for the rest of the night. Everyone clapped and cheered for Will Smith. And it must have been pretty surreal for Chris Rock, who was presumably watching from backstage, being like, what is happening? I continue to ask. Will Smith went on an extended, meandering, blubbering speech that included phrases that would cause an absolute meltdown in online discourse as he referenced the fact that, quote, love will make you do crazy things. Ooh. And that he was just like the person he played in King Richard, doing whatever it took to protect his family.
Cool.
He teared up, he apologized to the Academy, but not to Chris Rock, though he seemed to grasp the gravity of what he had just done and the bizarre reality that ended with him back on stage accepting his first Oscar right after slapping the presenter.
It was just, I've never seen anything like it. You're watching a man who, in all reality, probably was, we don't know, because we don't know how this is going to play out over the next couple of months, but a person who is on stage winning an award for being the best actor who might have just ended his own career and is currently dealing with the...
I mean, I don't think his career is...
But what I'm saying is this was minutes after he had just slapped someone on stage.
Right.
So you're watching the gears turning is a really weird thing.
What I think is more likely, but still not certain, is that he might not be invited back next year or for a certain period of time, which would still be pretty weird, accepting an Oscar knowing that there's a good chance I'm not going to be in this room for a while after this.
It was must-see TV.
Yeah. Because they have to do something. This puts the Oscars in such a weird fucking position.
Also, there was multiple camera mistakes and cuts and censored things going on, so you're like, what is happening now? What is happening now? But it was because a titty fell out, apparently, on camera, so they had to cut away really quick.
Whose?
Yeah. Apparently a boob fell out, apparently. So
what is happening?
They had the Oscars logo on the screen during his speech at certain points because they were cutting around to the audience.
Who took their tit out during Will Smith's
I think it
speech?
fell out. I don't think they did it on purpose, but it also caused chaos being like, is Chris Rock coming back WWE style from backstage? Anyways.
That's also the weirdest part about this is it's like if Chris Rock had been right next to him and said this shit and Will Smith had just sort of instinctively slapped him in the face, that would have been... I would be like, okay, sure, that happens. But the fact that there's a 10-second gap where he comes down the entire, he does the Vince McMahon entrance.
Yeah.
There's enough of a gap in time there where it just becomes suddenly very strange.
Yeah. But obviously this speech was going to be emotional. The dude just fucking slapped Chris Rock in front of millions of people on a live broadcast. It was literally insane to see him up there at all let alone trying to explain himself while mentally grasping the severity of what he had just done. Still, if the slap alone and the uncensored clips giving further context to everything weren't enough to cause a full-blown meltdown for anyone with a Twitter account, the fact that the guy who perpetrated an assault immediately winning one of the top awards of the night surely broke everyone's brains. And boy, was there no shortage of hot takes. And look, from my perspective, what a great night to be not an active Twitter user. There was really no right way to address what happened based on just how fucking angry everyone was at each other online. It was fascinating. Because a lot of times when something like this happens, big major event happening, it's very clear. You can dunk on something very clearly. But in this specific scenario, there were so many people arguing so many things about every aspect of what played out and every bit of minutia along the timeline.
People were writing their fucking dissertations.
Yeah.
Their thesis on this. So and I think it broke down into basically a four-cornered quadrant. Much like the political compass.
Yeah.
Where it's on one side, you think Will Smith was in the right. On the other side, you think Will Smith was in the wrong. At the top, you think this was a very serious thing that happened. And at the bottom,
why does this matter?
You're okay, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. And then just filled with little dots of Twitter icons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to thank our Discord, which basically acted as a hazmat suit for me, where I just got to see what people were posting secondhand. It was great. I was playing Lost Ark on one screen, watching our Discord on the other. But in the spirit of having an opinion, no matter how divisive, I want to say that in my opinion, Will Smith was in the wrong and could have easily done literally anything else and come out on top of it.
Oh, a white man has an opinion about something that happened on national television.
I'll shut up now. I'm going to shut my mouth.
Sit down. With that out of the way, here are some of the best, worst, and wildest tweets from the night.
Some of them don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, many were deleted. This is by no means exhaustive. It was, you had
to be there.
Yeah.
It was a quote-unquote Twitter moment.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
If Will Smith slapped me in the face, I would be so honored. Will Smith is super famous. Okay. I mean, sure. All right.
I think it would be pretty cool if I got slapped by Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winning an Oscar after slapping the host has to be an unreal dopamine hit.
Yeah. I want to see his Apple Watch.
You are having a heart attack. Yeah. We've called emergency services.
Good God.
Yeah. Good God, man.
Men will literally win an Oscar for Best Actor before going to therapy.
There's the now deleted tweet
from
John
no. Oh, no.
Which read, he could have killed him.
That man had a family.
Hold on. Sorry. I can't even fucking... Hold on. Let me catch myself here.
By God.
He could have killed him. That's pure out-of-control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They are not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind.
I mean, he's got half of a point, but the delivery is just over the top.
Yeah.
Sure. He could, if things had gone differently than how they did and he had actually swung at him, maybe.
Or if in a very comedic slapstick way, it knocked Chris Rock back, who then stumbled for 25, 30 feet and then
fell into the orchestra pit into a giant
hit his head on the back of the Oscar statue that was behind him.
Yeah, sure, I guess you're right. I take it back. Joe Apatow is correct.
Anything could happen. Someone could trip on their walk home.
In the multiverse, one of these multiverses, Chris Rock died from that slap.
Yeah.
Followed by, it's not actually funny at all. Will Smith could have killed him with that slap. What if his hand had been full of bees and Chris Rock was allergic to bees and one of the bees stung Chris and nobody had an EpiPen? Not so funny now, is it?
I'm sorry for laughing now. I feel so terrible.
That happened in one of the multiverses as well. In one of the multiverses, Will Smith had a pocket full of bees. Just waiting to be used on anyone who dared disrespect his woman.
And yes, there was, of course, some Chris Rock, Will Smith, Ukraine crossover, too. Like this now deleted banger, which I don't even know the validity of. It's perfect, and it's Twitter, so I want to believe. What Will Smith did to Chris Rock is the same as what Putin did to Ukraine. Putin felt threatened and disturbed. Will felt threatened and disturbed. We all love violence, let's admit it. War is the same as hitting. It's hitting cities. I bet Putin loved it. I feel why Will did it.
Yeah, it's just a banger.
Yeah.
Absolute banger right there. And then there were just thousands upon thousands of very original tweets referencing the theme song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You were all the only person to point out that in the theme song for the show, he gets in one little fight and his mom gets scared. So he moves in with his auntie and uncle in Bel-Air.
When Ben Shapiro does the joke, you know that it's overdone.
Yeah.
And then there's this one here that sums up the whole kind of thing quite nicely. This is from Internet Hippo, of course. The Will Smith thing is the perfect event for terminal Twitter brain, which is basically, 1, thinking that everything is a serious issue, and 2, demanding that everyone tweet correctly about it.
Yeah. That's a good summation of it.
Mm-hmm. Only the best takes from Internet Hippo.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, people felt very, like, personally, deeply offended by the takes of complete strangers about this event that has nothing to do with anyone having this conversation.
Yeah.
And this is happening on a scale rarely seen, maybe like January 6th.
Yeah. Trump COVID.
Yeah.
Like all kinds of like weird shit. It in a way reminded me of the weekend that I quit Twitter, which was when it was like one of the first weeks that school was back in session. And in one weekend on Twitter, there was equal but different discourse related to shootings that had happened across America as the world started to reopen, and a guy who found shrimp in his cereal box.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I think I'm done. I think I'm fucking done with Twitter.
Yeah.
And you know what? Life's been pretty great.
Anyway, there were an infinite amount of takes about how this is so terrible and irresponsible and a bad influence and glorifying violence, while literally everything popular about the country we live in is violence. Movies, games, TV shows, the way everybody fucking rubbernecks anything bad that ever happens, the fight videos, the wars, the shootings. Like, read the fucking room. This is nothing. This is very small.
How dare someone
and there was
express their emotions violently in this beautiful, just completely sane country.
And, like, there were multiple takes from the biggest, like, foreign policy hawks in the country, like people who literally have been like, I don't know why we don't just do a no-fly zone over Ukraine, who were
people begging for World War III.
Treating the possibility of World War III as like, just something that might happen, and treating this as like just a stunning indictment of American culture and violence.
Yeah.
Like, all right, buddy, calm down. But yeah, was Will Smith in the wrong here? No, you shouldn't fucking slap people. I'm sorry. Like, there was better ways, and this is another thing. People are like, I'm like, I don't think he should have slapped him. Like, oh, so if this was your wife, you would just sit there and do nothing and just take it? I'm like, you're acting like the two options are do absolutely nothing or fight.
On stage at the Academy Awards. Yeah.
Fight immediately. Yeah. I'm like, I think that's a fucking dumbass, stupid way of looking at it. There were definitely other ways for him to resolve this and do so much more effectively.
Also, it didn't seem to be mean-spirited, and it didn't seem that like Chris Rock was doing it as like a fucking way to like really piss someone off. It's like if you were sitting in a comedy club and some amateur comic was just roasting your significant other for no reason and being actually mean about it, then like you probably shouldn't jump up on stage and punch them, but you should definitely fucking talk to them afterwards and be like, hey, what's the deal, dude?
Yeah. Or at the very least, throw your drink in their face. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
And half the time it's justified and half the time it's not. People have apparently, what last night really exposed was people have extremely different sort of definitions on what warrants like getting physical with someone else.
If you like, okay, the thing that makes this so pointless is that it happened on stage at the fucking Oscars. Like, if this was someone calling your wife fucking ugly at a bar, like, a lot of people are gonna fucking fight in that situation.
Yeah, but
is it right? Probably not. But it's definitely more likely to happen than on stage at the fucking Oscars.
This is like your grandpa slapping your uncle at the world's biggest Thanksgiving dinner while you're just trying to eat your turkey.
Wow, wish that didn't happen.
Oh,
anyways,
well, fuck. Anyway,
and the award goes to,
and the turkey goes to Grandpa.
We all love Grandpa, don't we, folks?
Let's all say what we're thankful about, Grandpa.
Hey, Uncle, why don't you go stand over there and just witness all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did the entire country have to turn this into the most divisive issue facing people today? No.
Makes for a good episode of our show, though.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the discourse industry, so it's good for business.
We deal in takes.
And it's especially good for the Oscar business because
big win for them.
last week we were saying, like, why are they even airing this shit? Just fucking end it. Just cancel the fucking Oscars. And now ratings are back. People are going to be tuning in next year to see what happens. We're seeing more statements and reactions from people behind the scenes about all this. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
More Oscar talk coming right up. But first,
don't go anywhere.
If you just, got a little pent up and slapped a colleague in the face in front of thousands of other people, and you didn't apologize to them moments later when you had the perfect opportunity to do so. Mail them an apology using today's sponsor, Stamps.com.
Yeah,
it really, it's the thought.
Yeah, if you're a small business owner, you're busy enough as it is. You don't have time to deal with the hassle of going down to the post office. You should be using your time on other opportunities that will grow your business. So leave the shipping hassles to Stamps.com. With Stamps.com, you can skip that trip and never waste another dollar or minute. Stamps.com lets you print official postage right from your computer so that you can spend less time at the post office and more time running your business. Stamps.com saves you time, money, and stress. For more than 20 years, Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. Stamps.com gives you access to all the post office and UPS shipping services that you need right from your computer. And you can get discounts that you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS rates and up to 76% off UPS.
Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. All you need is a computer and a standard printer. No special supplies or equipment. You're up and running in minutes, printing official postage for any letter, any package, anywhere that you want to send. Save time and money this year with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code NEWSDUMP for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code NEWSDUMP.
All right. Hazmat suit on. Getting back into it. And yes, this is probably the first time in a very long time where one story has consumed the entire episode, but this story has consumed the news and overshadowed, sadly, everything else. And we will have some little loose ends at the end, but let's get into the reaction from those involved in the slap heard around the world, as well as a response from the Academy themselves. Now, first up, Chris Rock continues to come out of this looking great because not only did he take a surprise smack to the face as if nothing happened, he also refused to press charges against Will Smith, which is a move that pretty much everyone saw coming, but it is still noteworthy. A full statement from the LAPD was released, and it reads as follows.
LAPD investigative entities are aware of an incident between two individuals during the Academy Awards program. The incident involved one individual slapping another. The individual involved has declined to file a police report. If the involved party desires a police report at a later date, LAPD will be available to complete an investigative report. Chris Rock has also seen a surge in ticket sales for his upcoming stand-up tour in the wake of the incident, with ticket resale site TickPick tweeting, "We sold more tickets to see Chris Rock overnight than we did in the past month combined." Because he's going to have a lot to talk about. He's going to be milking this for material for years to come. This is the best thing that's happened to Chris Rock's stand-up comedy career in like 20 years. Yeah. So that's why I'm sure he's like, why would I be mad about this? Like, yeah, it fucking hurt to get slapped and it was weird as hell.
And his response was great. Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
Yeah. And you could see in his brain, he was...
He could have said a lot more.
He could have ended Will Smith's life right there. Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consummate professional.
And despite the extremely awkward scenario that played out after the altercation where a person involved then took the stage to accept an award, the Academy finally released an official statement on the matter, saying the following. The Academy condemns the actions of Mr. Smith at last night's show. We have officially started a formal review around the incident and will explore further action and consequences in accordance with our bylaws, standards of conduct, and California law. And according to their bylaws, it could result in, quote, suspension of membership or expulsion from membership. So I don't think any of those will happen, whether it's justifiable or not. They'll probably just buck tradition and not have him present an award next year. That I could see that. I
don't know. They're in a weird position because if they do nothing and then later you get, not necessarily a fucking physical attack, but, someone getting too drunk and rushing the stage and stealing the mic or something like that. Like if anything else happens in the future and they just did nothing to Will Smith, they're going to have a much harder time dealing with that.
I think any decision they make is going to be based completely on the public outrage and how long it lasts on Twitter.com.
Yeah, I don't know.
I literally think that the Oscars dictates all of their policy based on tweets.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be like, oh, you won't get to. Like,
you
can't vote. Next year.
They gave Zack Snyder an honorary award because of Twitter.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
If anyone bends the knee to Twitter, it's the Oscars. So
they should just do a poll.
Do a poll. What should happen to Will Smith? Weird. Zack Snyder.
Slappy McSlapface.
Zack Snyder won the award.
Anyway, according to an exclusive that ran in the Hollywood Reporter, the vibes backstage were quite literally fucked.
Fucked vibes.
So in a green room packed with A-listers, Rock's manager sat stunned. Smith's publicist huddled with the Academy's president and CEO, and people were gasping. Anyway, as for the boring part of the show, Dune won awards for categories like cinematography, editing, sound, visual effects, score, and costume design.
There you go.
But get fucked, Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, he kind of lost it there.
Encanto won Best Animated Feature, and they talked mad shit on animation yet again. They're like, I don't know why we're doing this stupid category for kids. Anyway, Coda won Best Picture alongside Best Supporting Actor going to Troy Kotsur. Kotsur?
Yep.
All right.
Again, the movie's great. It's on Apple TV if you have that. I tried to watch as many as I could before the Oscars happened, and that was one of the first Oscar noms that I watched after they were announced. And yeah, I teared up. Do you have a soul? Watch it.
I like how they had a sign language interpreter for that award and nothing else of the show.
Yeah. But everyone did the hand thing, the wave.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so there you go.
But like every year, when the Oscars happen, so do the Razzies. The increasingly irrelevant Razzies.
I mean, now completely irrelevant because the Oscars just upstaged the Razzies.
I mean, the Oscars had their own Razzies with the Zack Snyder Award.
Yeah, true.
But so yeah, the Razzies, the Golden Raspberry Awards, they gave out the awards for the worst in entertainment for the year. Surprisingly, no fights broke out at the Razzies, despite it being an award show that only exists to mock the garbage that Hollywood cranks out. This year's top Razzie Award went to Diana the Musical, which I think that's just like it's like the Hamilton thing where they just filmed a musical. So, okay. That brought home titles for Worst Picture, Worst Actress, Worst Supporting Actress, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. The other top prizes went to Space Jam 2 for Worst Actor, LeBron, Worst Screen Couple for LeBron James and any Warner cartoon character or Time Warner product, and Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. As for the Worst Performance by Bruce Willis Award, the one where, because he's in like 50 movies a year now, that went to Bruce Willis for Cosmic Sin, which was just one of the 8 Bruce Willis movies that were released last year and nominated for the Bruce Willis Award.
Yeah. Congrats to all of last night's big winners, and congrats to the Academy Awards for their much-needed ratings boost. Sorry that you couldn't get Zelensky to dial in.
Yeah, is Sean Penn melting his Oscar down?
Yeah, I don't know. After our video came out, and we made fun of the very idea of doing this, I started to be like, is this actually going to happen? Because there were multiple news articles about like it was Sean Penn and some others being like, and then I think there was one that was like the Academy's like reaching out to like gauge interest to see, and it's just like, why is this happening? But my God, how hilariously depressing would it have been for a call-in from Zelensky to have preceded or followed an incident involving Will Smith and Chris Rock? That would have looked terrible. So kudos for that not happening, I guess. And I was going to apologize for this being a short episode, but it is not.
No.
But it is an oddly scheduled episode of News Dump.
Hey, perfect timing, because...
yeah, it's a shortened week for us. We're flying out to Austin for our live show with Rooster Teeth. We're going to have one more episode this week. It'll be Weekly Weird News, but I don't know when it'll go up, but we're doing one more episode this week because we're flying back and forth. So just so you don't think that something's wrong and we've been taken hostage or something for joking about Jada Pinkett Smith.
Slapped to death.
Speaking of Austin, it is literally your last chance to grab tickets if you plan on coming out to see us. There are links in the description below so you can buy tickets if you want. Have a good weekend. Or not weekend, it's the start of the week. But the Oscar stuff is now behind us, and we will see you soon for Weekly Weird News and hopefully in person in Austin on Friday, April 1st. No fooling. Links in the description.
No slapping either, please.
Yes, no slapping. Elliot, what should they watch over here?
We just did a video about...
Short Kings.
Short Kings, which apparently I am. Anyone under 6 feet tall is a short king.
Yeah.
So it's Short King Spring, baby. And then before that, another episode of News Dump, where
It's completely irrelevant.
Where we predicted that the Oscars would be stupid and boring this year.
If you only want to watch it just for the completely odd, in retrospecticus kind of view of it, then it is probably worth watching.
Yeah.
Those are up now. Check those out. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. Leave a divisive comment below, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.